Hello, friends. I wanted to reach out with a short video message surrounding Medicaid Spendown considerations. Many of you have been reaching out to me lately with regards to someone in your immediate household and or family member that is currently in the process of applying for Medicaid via, let's just say, the nursing home route. And gaining a better understanding of Medicaid can help with better planning ahead of time. With regards to any information I'll subsequently discuss, it is important for estate planning attorney does provide final blessing as to the validity of this in your state, whether it be New York State, where we're located, or any other for that matter, since each state is unique. For those in New York, as a little bit of background, to qualify for nursing home care coverage, you typically need to do so under one of the following four methods. So first, you would pay using long-term care insurance. But for those of you who might already have it, you know it's become extremely expensive. Secondly, you could pay utilizing your own assets. Effectively, what you're doing here is you're self-insuring and you're spending down. Third, you would be deemed naturally poor, according to Medicaid. Or fourth, you artificially make yourself poor in the eyes of Medicaid. Or the fifth item, I should say, is a combination of all four of those in some way, shape, or form. Now, in New York State, certain actions can be implemented and should be considered at least 5 years prior. We call this the 60-month or 5-year look back in New York State. Remember, this is not a recommendation since it's specific to each and every one of you and your situations, and should be discussed ad nauseam with your attorney first. Then obviously ourselves to understand the potential financial planning impacts of doing so. And in New York State and others, if you happen to make certain purchases or gifts during this look back period, you can end up facing a penalty. Unfortunately, these penalties could mean you have to wait months or even years before you become eligible, or your family does, for Medicaid. To emphasize, each state dictates what the income and asset limits are for Medicaid applicants and tends to shift a bit each year. Also note that not every state allows for a Medicaid Spendown. These so-called income cap states follow completely different rules. So with all that in mind, in New York State, Medicaid applicants can still sometimes qualify even if they've made certain actions within the 5-year period. So I'm going to go through some of them with you right now. These actions that you could implement where you still possibly could be eligible for the 5-year look back, or I should say, not falling within the 5-year look back penalty period. These purchases would still allow you to qualify for Medicaid within the 5 years. And once again, you want to run this by your estate planning attorney for final blessing. So a couple examples that do come to mind would be paying off credit card balances, paying off medical bills, prepaid funeral services, and legal fees to your estate attorney for consultations as well, actually. Also, in many states, you can spend down some surplus assets on such things as equipment and sometimes health insurance premiums as well. So these are predominantly services that you can pay for, and it does not count towards the 5-year look back in New York State. Now let's look at physical items that may fall into the same arena as well, in a good way. A new vehicle. So sometimes one of our clients or a family member might need a new reliable car, which is wheelchair accessible. You might be able to qualify to purchase this and not fall under that 5-year penalty. Sometimes things like electronics, whether it be a communication device, television set, maybe a laptop or smartphone. Could be new clothes or even books or subscriptions. In some situations, it could be, for example, like a Netflix subscription, magazine subscription, things of that nature. Towels, bedding, furniture, and sometimes home improvements. So once again, to emphasize, a final blessing should be provided from your attorney on all that we discussed. In addition, not only should they first grant you permission before acting, but you should also understand the full picture and impact of doing so on your estate plan and also your greater financial affairs. I hope this helps and enjoy your day today.